Hey everyone, and welcome back to News for Science, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. Here to bring you a different type of video tonight, and that is these amazing photo mode submissions that you all, the viewers, have submitted. Not all of you, but I did pick an abundance of photos from all of you who submitted me some amazing Marvel Spider-Man photos. I picked 10 because I think 10 is a great number, and I'm going to go over basically all the photos that you submitted, just give a brief description, and talk to you about how each of these photos make me feel. So don't worry if your photos don't make it onto the video. There will be plenty of opportunities in future videos for you to submit photos and for me to actually go over with. But nonetheless, these photos are very impressive. And just when you think that you're really good at something, you're always going to find people out there who are much better than you at something. And that's photography. And this is me just thinking that I'm like the world's greatest photographer.
They're crap. 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 Mega crap.
I'm a photographer.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, right. Anyways, all jokes aside, let's go ahead and review these photos. And let's start with like the first one. Now, these are not going to be in any particular order. I'm just going to go over all of them. I don't really have a favorite one because it was actually kind of hard for me to decide. But these photos in particular make me feel something, and I'll explain why as I'm going over each of these photos. And I gotta say, it was a lot of fun actually going over these photos because these are just works of art. So going over the first one, this photo was submitted by Akon, and this is an Into the Spider-Verse pic. This was taken in Spider-Man Miles Morales. This photo right here, if you were to show it to anybody, the average Spider-Man fan out in the street who's never played Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and you told them that this is a promotional artwork for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Part 2, they'd probably believe it. Hell, if you were to even actually blend this photo in with a lot of promotional art for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Part 2 or even Part 1, people would actually think that that is a still image of one of the promotional arts from Sony promoting Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Part 2, or even the first part, if anything. It looks incredible, and it just goes to show that we need an Into the Spider-Verse game, because basically the animation that we get from the movies can easily be pulled off in the video games, and this is why I actually love this photo. So thank you once again to Akon. Show him some love. I believe he submitted this to me from Twitter, so definitely go ahead and find him there and let him know how awesome this photo is. All right, at number 2, we have Marvel Spider-Man photo mode by Jared on Instagram. Now, this one really caught my eye because of like all the warm colors, like the yellows and the reds and the dark reds, you know, kind of like blending in together. It almost looks like a far away, you know, a distant shot of Spider-Man swinging into the sunset, while the photo itself is also fading into like, you know, a yellow orange tint color. And I mean, it really gives the photo a lot of character, and I really like that. So definitely props to Jared on Instagram. Definitely check out his work. He took these amazing shots and sent them my way on Instagram, and I really liked this one. This one really stuck out to me the most. It's all because of that coloring that really, you know, that I really liked it. And speaking of coloring, we have an interesting photo here. It actually has an offset coloring look to it. And now this was submitted by Lusix AMV, and he submitted this to me over on Instagram. And this photo, the colors are offset, but it looks perfect. Spider-Man is clearly the focus here, the main subject in the photo, while everything else in the background, particularly the buildings, are blurred a little bit, and they have like that aperture look to it. But Spider-Man really pops at you, and especially that offset coloring, it just makes it look even better. And I really love that photo. Now moving on to the next one. Now this one was one of my favorites. If anything, one of my favorites from out of the bunch. I like the Amazing Spider-Man film. I think it's a decent Spider-Man, solid Spider-Man movie. Yeah, it has its problems, but what's interesting is that the Amazing Spider-Man suit in particular looks really good at night. It really has like this sheen look to it, like this really shiny sheen, like almost wet appearance, because it's a spandex suit. Really, it's based off of like figure skaters. You know, if you watch the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker was looking through spandex, and he was looking at figure skaters and the outfits that they would wear when they would go skating, or at least competing in ice skating. Figure ice skaters. For whatever reason, this shot, Spider-Man fighting Electro in that shot at night, or at least like the accents are turned down and like the exposure is turned also way down. His suit shines with electricity just coming out of him, like, you know, just shooting in different directions. Not to mention, giving it poetic justice, like the Oscorp building is right behind both, you know, Electro and Spider-Man in the distance, which makes this shot look beautiful. And I really love this shot. It looks gorgeous. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, at first, when I first saw that suit back in like 2011, 2012, I didn't know what to think of it. I thought the suit looked ugly. I thought it was an awful design. And then it made sense in the context of the film because you were supposed to believe that a kid made this outfit. And the more I saw this suit in action, the more I got used to it. It really does look good at night. Especially this shot right here. I don't know what it is that Insomniac did to make that suit look even better than it does in the film, but bravo to you. What a wonderful shot. Lusix AMV, great work, man. I really love this shot. And then the next photo, this one was submitted by a Sir Muffin. I call this photo Spider-Man 2099 with the Into the Spider-Verse appearance to it. Now, it's a simple shot. It's just basically Spider-Man Miles Morales at the top of the Empire State, just, you know, on his toes, just sitting there, looking off into the distance of the city. But he's wearing a 2099 suit with the Into the Spider-Verse look. It kind of looks like he's basically peered into the Spider-Verse because the background has like these reds and blues, and like it has like this image of the city kind of like fading off into different colors, like it's glitching. And that's what I really love about this suit. It's simple, but it's really effective, and it evokes a lot of emotion out of it. Like, it makes me feel, I guess you could say, it makes me feel warm inside because Into the Spider-Verse was just an amazing movie, and I just love Into the Spider-Verse. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely a wonderful shot. I really loved it. Thank you for submitting that, Sir Muffin. I appreciate it. Now, the next one, this is one of my all-time favorites, and this is taken from Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's the very first suit that Miles wears in the game while he's training with Spider-Man Peter Parker. And it's basically a shot from, you know, downward, looking upward, with Miles swinging with the snowfall and the moon in the distance. It looks amazing. And not to mention, the lighting is perfect here. Like, most of his body appears to be more of like a silhouette, where the light is shining kind of like a little bit on his, I guess his left leg, and maybe on the left side of his face. And the rest is more like shrouded into darkness, more like it's got that mysterious look. And I really love this shot. It really looks like a game cover. If anything, I think it can serve like an amazing wallpaper to like your desktop. It looks like an amazing screensaver, and I would definitely love to use this as my screensaver. I really love this shot. Thank you for submitting this once again. Camden Shrout. Again, I'm sorry I didn't credit you at the very beginning when I started talking about this photo, but this was submitted by Camden Shrout over on Twitter. And what a wonderful shot. I really love it. Thank you so much for submitting it. All right, the next one. This one was submitted by Virtual Photography. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I think that I do something really well, but somebody out there just goes on ahead and does it a lot better than I do. This one would appear to be Miles Morales shooting up in the air with his Venom Blast, and he's just basically launching himself with his Venom Blast. But there's a vignette around him. He's in the snow, and once again, he's shrouded in darkness. The exposure is turned down really low with nothing to light him up but the venom, the bioelectricity in his body that really ignites him and lights him up and gives him a little bit of light. A lot of wonderful and beautiful orange and red hues around his body. His hands are glowing. He just looks epic, and he looks like someone you wouldn't want to trifle with. And this is an amazing shot. I love it. Definitely a beauty. Definitely screensaver worthy. Definitely, you know, phone lock screen or home screen worthy. You got to download this photo. Check it out on Virtual Photography over on Instagram. All right, the next shot. Now, this one gave me the chills, man. This one gave me, like, this is where, like, my feelings started to, like, you know, this one hit home for me. This shot right here was submitted to me by Tails the Fox over on Twitter. And it's Marvel Spider-Man, but he's wearing the Raimi suit, looking off into the distance with an orange hue across the whole photo. Now, let me ask you all something. What does this shot remind you of? And you'd be right if you were to say that it reminds you of Spider-Man 2 from Sam Raimi. Now, if I were to take this one shot and mix it with a lot of the promotional photos that we got for Spider-Man 2 way back in 2004, I would think that this image right here is a promotional shot for Spider-Man 2 because it looks that damn convincing and it looks so amazing. I love it. It really does invoke a lot of emotions. To me, it says that it's Spider-Man versus the world. It's Spider-Man versus his city. It's Spider-Man looking into the city and basically realizing the responsibility he has to protect this city. That's what this photo is saying to me. It really speaks to me. It hits me on an emotional level. I love this shot. Thank you for submitting this shot, man. It's a simple photo, but it just has so much emotion behind it, so much nostalgia. And I really love it. And I think that's why you took the shot too, by the way, because I think you're a Spider-Man 2 fan, Tails the Fox. But anyways, thank you once again, Tails the Fox from Twitter. Thank you for submitting this photo. I love this shot. It's beautiful, especially that sunset with the whole sunbeam going across the photo. It's got that glare to it. Beautiful shot. All right, the next one is the TASM 1 suit, a close-up shot of Spider-Man in the TASM 1 suit doing a skydive. And this one was submitted by an Iron Saiyan. I actually included one of his photos in my last video, but he also had another photo that I really liked, and this one's a close-up shot of the TASM 1 suit. Once again, it does look good in the game, especially this close-up shot where you can actually see his lenses and his mask and everything reflecting off his lenses, especially the city that's underneath him. So, wonderful shot. I really love it. I really love the close-up shots. I love taking those shots. But thank you so much for submitting this one. I really like the shot. And then lastly, this one was submitted by That Kid Akeem. This is Miles Under the Bridge. That's what I call it. I really like the shot too. I mean, I would actually think that this is also something that you would see in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or something like that. It looks really good. I mean, it even looks like it could be a Into the Spider-Verse video game, if anything, and I would definitely fall for it. I mean, give it to an average person who's never seen Into the Spider-Verse or who's never played Marvel Spider-Man or Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, they would think that this is actually a video game for Into the Spider-Verse or something else. I don't know. But I really like this shot too. Simple. I mean, he's simply upside down, but he's taking a selfie upside down. And I really like this shot. Thank you so much for submitting this one. And that's pretty much it. And that's all the 10 photos that I picked for this video. Stay tuned. There will be more videos like this. I'm going to go ahead and try to make this more of a weekly thing. So hopefully you guys will stick around because I got more to come. And hopefully you guys can submit more photos to me. Until next time, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. As always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.